You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the first ever OPNFV Summit from San Francisco. And I'm joined now by Martin Backstrom, who is VP and Head of Industry Area Datacom at Ericsson. Martin, thanks for joining us on TelecomTV. First question I'd like to ask is, in the context of open solutions for NFV, what do we mean by open?
I think we are really talking about a mixture of a standard and an open source. So OPNFV is sort of the answer to the ETSI NFV standardization work, which is, very much done by the major telecom operators in the world and some of the vendors. From that work, we saw that there was a need to sort of create a uniform layer, but it was also very much asked for to be outside the 3GPP, built on open source. So the way to create sort of an open source for this particular usage was then to basically create an adoption forum where you take in the different underlying open source forums, such as OpenStack, such as Open Virtual Switch, and many others, and more or less create a uniform or standardized, if you want, layer of virtualization for the telecom industry.
So why does the telecom industry need this layer?
The normal way of doing business in telecom has for years been that the operators are sending an RFP to vendors. And then based upon that, vendors are actually capable of specifying everything of interest for the operator. The cost for the deployment, the KPIs, the rollout time, everything is specified directly based on that RFP. There's no SI project needed, there's no calculation, and you can get the answer in a week or two. That way of working requires that the elements that you build the telecom network of are standardized, at least to some level. And if you're having operators that every one of them has different virtualization layer, it will become impossible to calculate how many hardware licenses and how many software licenses and everything which is needed to achieve a certain KPI or a certain characteristic of a deployment. So there was a need to create some sort of standard in the telecom industry.
So how close are we in getting this virtualized layer and accepted by telecoms providers?
I think that if I call all of this the industry thinking around the virtualization layer in telecom, I think the idea of OPNFV is widely accepted and very much appreciated in the telecom industry. And then a lot of operators want this so much, so they more talk about why can't we have it today? Why isn't it already ready? That's more the discussion we have rather than to say whether it's needed or not. In the lack of OPNFV being fully ready, there are a lot of proprietary operator-specific mixes and solutions out there. I think eventually they will go away and OPNFV will be the common denominator of the virtualization layer for the telecom operators.
Do you think there's going to be any functions that we just can't virtualize, that are too complex or too high performance, that eventually we won't be able to virtualize everything?
I think it's more so that there is legacy which doesn't pay to virtualize. So the really important thing is how you actually interwork between something which is virtualized and something which is legacy. In Ericsson, we work very much with young-driven network modeling, as we call it, where you can take an inventory system and sort of put in all your dependencies on router and transport and use that when you do in-scaling and out-scaling. And also that portion, how you do that network modeling and the different dependencies between the different network elements is something that we aim for standardizing, so also that portion becomes open.
Final question for you. This is a very well-attended event. I think maybe the numbers have surprised a lot of people. Why? Why are so many people apparently committed to OPNFV as a way forward? And especially Ericsson, because Ericsson's done an awful lot with OPNFV. I
think that to some extent, a lot of staff and people also in the IT industry sees the same problem. They also are looking for, why can't we have a complete suite? Why do you need to take all of these different and sometimes even competing forums and select one or two of them? Better to select together with your customers And when that selection is done on a principle level, we can all contribute to build something collaborative that can really create value in the telecom industry. And that formula has become a success, and the 700 delegates or so here is an evidence out of that.
Martin, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.